Daddy Podcast!
Yay!
where we talk about our childhoods.
I'm Kayla.
Oh, I'm Elena.
I'm Barrett.
I'm Alexis. Childhood in general. I spent most of my time in my backyard with my neighbors.
Define childhood.
Were you the weird neighbor growing up?
The weird neighbor?
Yeah, were you the weird neighbor kid?
What does that even
What?
mean?
Yeah, like what is a weird neighbor kid?
I
Like,
feel like there's a lot of weird neighborhood kids. And Alexis would be one of the weird neighbor.
Alexis
I
was
was
a
definitely
backyard
not
again.
one of the.
I can't name drop on this, but I mean, like, we had like a little like group of three or four of us who would just rotate backyards, and just like every like Sunday or even after school, we would just jump on my trampoline, then go play lacrosse in the backyard, and then go get food in the other house. And it was just like we would just rotate for like hours.
After he's blinking.
No,
We
I
turned
think
it
you
back
got
on.
So I don't think I was a weird neighborhood kid. I didn't really like any of the other neighborhood kids besides the people's houses that were next to mine.
Interesting.
I used to go to my neighbor's house in California, and she would make me play Barbies with her
Ooh.
every
adorable.
day. And if I suggested we did something else, she would cry.
Oh no.
Did you ever play with like the Barbie like bat? There was like a swimming pool, and you would like.
Drown them? No.
There was one time where like she had this swimming pool and for like the Barbie, and then you would fill it up, and then you'd like change the Barbie into like a bathing suit, and then like I don't know, it was
I cannot
weird.
say I ever did that.
No.
But we did play house every day. Every
We
day,
had a
Ken
Barbie
and Barbie
dream
lived
house.
in their little house. Wow, me too, actually.
But it was like the one in the TV show. And we had the cars and everything. The golf cart.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
I always wanted the plane.
I did that for fun. And she also got a dream house. We made
They definitely
house-
cannot hear you.
Oh dang it!
We made houses out of the chairs we had in the basement, and they just lived on chairs.
Good.
Yeah.
What were those? Did any of you play with like Zoobles? Like, or what were they?
Were
called?
those the hairy ones?
Were those the like,
No.
little hamster-looking things?
They would go
I
into the
liked the
ball,
hamster
and then
things.
you would like throw them or something, and they'd like explode.
I never had any cool toys. I was too far down the line of children, so I just got the hand-me-down toys. Though I didn't even play with toys.
Oh my
Yeah, I would.
goodness. We had the coolest car set thing. And it was like all the Formula 1 tracks. And it was so cool. And then my dad got rid of it because he doesn't love me. Rats. Caden also had a suitcase full of just toy cars.
Aiden had that too. Aiden would get these like they were Hess cars from our great grandma, and he would just have them, and they're still in our house. There's just a corner of the house that has all of the cars.
That's because you're a hoarder. I don't think we have ours anymore.
Yeah, if you do look at my basement, we do hoard very much.
I had a neighbor that was a hoarder, and I used to get forced to play with her child when I was little. But they had actually I should have dumped their family drama in the podcast. But yeah, he like scootered, and he was like kind of weird. He was pretty funny.
Hey,
You jump
don't
on
say
the
that he was
trampoline a
weird
lot.
because he scootered. I was a scooter kid.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying that he was just weird in general. Scootering was just like a prominent character trait that I remember about him.
I also was a scooter kid, but we got electric scooters one year.
Of course.
Bro, those things were so fun but Caden was afraid of it because he fell off once and never touched it again.
Ooh.
Because he's one of those.
We had an electric Razor scooter, but I never used it because it was broken before I got old enough to actually ride it. But it sat in our garage for
I remember
years.
that.
It was green, lime green.
I got my first scooter when my dad said he said he would buy me a scooter if I water skied one summer. And then he bought me a scooter.
Win-win.
So he bought you.
I was terrified. One time, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. One time, I don't remember how old I was. in elementary school sometime. So scared to water ski that I cried so hard while water skiing I gave myself a bloody nose.
That's funny.
That's really funny. I was a extreme scooter kid when I would go to the skate park at least a couple times a week. And one time I had an allergic reaction there because one of the people's it was like, I don't know if it was weed or like vape, but I was allergic to it. And so we blew it, and it just like my body just went into hives immediately.
That's horrible.
And it was terrible. And then I think that was like the last time that I ever went there.
Wow.
Good.
I gave up scootering.
Let's talk about TV shows real quick. I used to get up every morning at 5 a.m. to watch the George Lopez show.
George Lopez is an icon.
Aiden and I would do that with Curious George. We'd get up so early to watch
Curious George. But George Lopez.
Me personally, whenever I got up early, that was when I lived in my grandparents' house, and we used to watch The Price is Right with my grandpa.
That is so traumatic. What other shows? I didn't watch Disney shows or Nickelodeon.
No,
and
my
everyone
family
hates
didn't
me
have
for
cable.
it.
Oh, really?
No. All PBS Kids, boys.
Did you watch them all on just like Disney Plus when they
Super Y.
came out on Disney Plus?
Super Y.
Super Y, Word World, Word Girl,
What was
Arthur,
the show? Arthur, oh my gosh.
Wild Kratts.
Wild Kratts was the greatest thing ever. The Panther, there was like a Panther episode where like
Clifford.
they wanted to be the Black Panther, and I would watch that episode at least like once a day.
What other shows were on PBS Kids? I got to the point where Odd Squad was later. I only liked the original Odd Squad cast, and then it just got bad. I got to the point where I loved PBS Kids so much that I would go onto their website and I'd play the PBS Kids games.
I did that too.
What
So fun.
What games were it? Like,
I don't even know, but they were pretty fun.
What other childhood things? School.
School was the same as it always is.
Recess. We would always argue over who could be captains for the
bad.
for whatever game we were playing, and it would just be a rotation. Like sometimes we'd play football for like 2 months, and then we'd play soccer for 2 months, and it would just
Then like
cycle.
basketball.
Yeah,
Personally, our thing was tetherball, or we would have.
they took down the tetherball thing.
My school in California, we used to play tetherball religiously. Like, we would literally have competitions. Like, just like, because there were like 3 of them lined up. And so it would just be like a rotation.
Wow, a tournament.
My mom told me that they took the tetherball out at Schaefer because some kid got hit in the face and knocked his 2 front teeth out, and so they decided to get rid of it, and that it was maybe a little unsafe. But they kept the pole there.
The pole was
and
there.
It
There was
in
just
the
no
middle
ball.
of the volleyball. Like it wasn't even a court; it was like rocks.
Yeah.
And people would always I feel like run into
Yeah,
it or
people
have
would
to
run into
avoid
the
it.
Yeah, sorry. Like 4th and 5th grade, infection was a really big thing, and that was kind of like the only thing we played at recess at Schaefer. And I remember one time, I felt like I was like one of the faster kids, so I like didn't really try very hard until like one of my faster friends that I knew was faster than me was it, because then I knew they would only go for me. And one time, I was running by the basketball hoops. I was sprinting for my life. I'd look behind and see my friend chasing me. I look forward and I ram straight into a basketball hoop, hit my knee, thought I broke it. That was the first time I ever cried at school because it killed. It hurt so bad.
Speaking of running into things, I ran into Elena's glass door.
It was so funny. Me and Alexis have been friends since like forever. And so we were in my backyard jumping on the trampoline, and I have a sliding glass door in my back. It's usually never clean, so I don't know how Alexis thought that the door was open, but like the screen that was covering it was like semi-closed on the door, so I guess it looked like a doorway. And so Alexis thought that the screen was the actual glass door, rams straight into it, falls to the ground. My sister goes, "Who just threw a ball at the door?"
And your mom too. Didn't your mom also think
My
that,
mom
like, the ball hit
was
the door?
so confused, and I look outside. I didn't even see Alexis run into the door. I just hear the noise, turn around, and Alexis is on the ground holding her forehead. Oh my gosh! And it was probably one
I
of
think that was like one of the first times that I was at. I think that was the first time I was at your house too. Like first time there, ran into the door, and it was just perfect.
Oh,
But it wasn't,
so
'cause my
funny.
head really hurt.
And Joe did the same thing about 7 years later.
The first time I ever went to Sierra's house, the only thing I remember from being there is her little brother running out. Like we were just sitting in her room, and her little runs.
Her little runner.
Her little brother runs by butt naked, like fully, like butt naked, and I was like, first time I was ever there. Only thing I remember, core memory.
We have a special guest, Lindsay. Lindsay, would you like to say anything about your childhood?
One time I fell off a rocking horse and I had to go to the ER.
Oh,
That's all.
Happy childhood memories from all of us.
Alright.
Goodbye.
Farewell.